It is Strictly Come Dancing final. Today we are just reacting to the 4 show dances in this one video and we're gonna get straight into it. Starting off first with JB Duo and Lauren, and their show dance is to a Motown medley. He looks very cool. He's gone for like this suave look, looking very cool in his suit. It's good. Very good, and you can feel that he's feeling it. He's confident, and when a dancer is feeling it and that they are confident when they do something, it makes the audience feel relaxed. Feels like they can just enjoy it, and it looks like, you know, a professional is watching it. It doesn't feel like a competition anymore. So already, you know, I'm about 40 seconds into the video. It's already a good start. Very nice little trick there too. The great thing about this is I'm not really seeing them as like a professional and as, you know, the celebrity or the learner. Like, they are both quite equally matched here, which is really nice. It makes it for a more enjoyable experience. There was a moment there where he had his hand out and he had a really beautiful line all the way to the end. So, you know, there's a real attempt here at technique as well as keeping the energy up. So yes, good. Very good lift. There was just enough momentum there. It was just right to execute. Really good. There's a bit just before this where it was a little bit messy on them sort of like yanking each other for, and I get that's the style, that's what they're trying to do, but it was just a little bit too much. It was a smidgen messy. Not enough to like dock a point or anything, but just a bit messy. But then that's contrasted with this bit here, which is very clean, very purposeful, like the arms have been done in a specific way, and you know, he's executing it well. Very good, very clean, very clear. The theme is clear. The sort of execution is clear. The energy's up there throughout the whole thing. There wasn't, as far as I could see, any missteps. So apart from that tiny little niggle, which is like a quarter of a point off, that's a 10 out of 10 dance for me. That is a 10 out of 10 dance. I'm curious as to what they got. Yeah, so JB got 39, so it would have been 9, 10, 10, 10. Good, I'm not sure what the 9 would have been for, Craig, but that's what he got. So we're gonna move on to, and to be honest, I think when you think about JB's journey throughout the entire of Strictly, like the fact that he's here in this position, doing that dance, pulling that dance out of his pocket is incredible. It's very impressive, it's very good, and it's actually quite an inspiration to see that sort of journey for him. So yes, I'm very, very pleased with that, and I would give it a 10. Okay, we're gonna move on to Tasha and Aliash, and they're doing the show dance to Sing Sing Sing. I was very, very impressed by her waltz last week, so I'm looking forward to this. Again, just from that intro, it doesn't look like I'm watching a professional and a celebrity. It looks like I'm watching 2 professionals dance. Those lines were so intricate, so well done, and so in sync, and the same as Aliash's, who has had years and years and years and years of ballroom and Latin training. So that in itself is super impressive, and I'm loving the start already. There was a lot happening in that very short amount of time. It's quite a fast song. There was so much happening in there, and there was, I think, a moment or two where she disconnected slightly, but they reconnected, and they had, again, like the more intricate things where she does this leg up and she does this turn. And there's a lot, as I said, a lot happening in a very short amount of time, which again, super impressive. That was very effortless, like, I'm just going to float and fly around him for a bit. Very well done. The precision to do that double, triple turn, whatever it was, and then go into a very sharp piece of choreography, and to have that much control, that body control in the core, the body control in the arms, not feeling, you know, or showing that you're dizzy. Very good chemistry. It's very hard, I think, to show a bit of like passionate chemistryness in a quick step. But actually they've managed it here as well. I can feel the connection between them, and that's nice to see, especially with a dance like the quick step. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It didn't wow me in the same way that show dances generally do. Like, I didn't look at that and be like, wow, oh my God, you know? I could have seen that in the semi-finals and be like, yeah, it's a great dance, it's really good, 10 out of 10, brilliant. I actually think the waltz that she did last week was better than this, personally. I felt like there was more feeling in that waltz, there was more to it. You can see my reaction for that, but actually this wasn't my favourite. It was well done, it was well executed, but I didn't enjoy it as much. Maybe because it was like up here the whole time. There was no changes, and it was very sort of, I guess, monotone. Even though the monotoneness was at a high energy level, it was very monotone throughout the dance. So I'm not very excited by it, which is a shame because it was a good dance and it was danced well. And I'm not sure if technically it was the best either. So actually I'd probably give that a 9, I think, from an enjoyment factor. I think a general factor, if I compare it to JB, then, you know, it is on par, so it would be a 10. But yeah, not the most enjoyable for me, especially compared to what I've seen her do previously. That's not my favourite. Let's move on. We're moving on to Chris and Diane. Their show dance is to You Get What You Want by New Radicals. Really good lift, really well executed, lots of trust there on both parties to be able to lean on each other like this. Beautiful. Good footwork as well. You can see his footwork is on point. Again, I always have an issue with his frame. That's, you know, a personal issue that I have. But footwork, everything else good. Beautiful line there with his hand as well. I wasn't a huge fan of that bouncy section, largely because his posture was down here when he was bouncing. If he had just done it upright, everything else would have been fine. But if he had just done it upright, that would have given it that little extra bounce and that extra, like, you know, this is very purposeful what I'm doing here. This is, you know, it's choreographed for a reason. But because his posture was sort of not as good as, you know, I've seen his posture be, I'm not convinced by it. Yeah, and this bit here doesn't feel connected, not to each other and also not to the music. It's a bit stompy, in all honesty. Like when you compare it to what I've just seen Tasha do, the lightness, the bounce, the togetherness, and then you see this, it's not on the same level. Yeah, it was a very joyful dance. It was a very uplifting, joyful, beautiful dance. And for that, I appreciate it. However, is it technically the best dance? No. Was it the most enjoyable dance in my opinion? Unfortunately, no. I think at the moment I've still got Tasha top. Did I enjoy that more than JB's? I think from like a ballroom and Latin perspective, I'd say yes. So I think I'd go Tasha, Chris, and then JB. What were their scores? So Chris got 38 with Craig giving him, I guess, an 8. Yeah, an 8, 10, 10, 10. So yes, I kind of agree with Craig there in all honesty. I do, it'd probably be an 8 from me. On that note, let's move on now to Sarah and Vito, who are doing the show dance to Cabaret. Very cool transition off that podium, very cool. Absolutely stunning and beautiful lines, all the way through to the fingertips, all the way through to the toes. Very beautiful body control, really nice. Whole routine, like those lifts, those leg kicks, that kind of flip onto his shoulder is so clean. There's not a single misstep there. That is so difficult to do. And again, body control, cleanliness, like it's so good. Very beautiful. They obviously didn't have the intention or the choreography to stick together. I think it's cheating a little bit because I want to see that you can do it, but they've chosen not to do it, which is different than choosing to do it and then sort of like banging up against each other as you're doing your runs and your hops and your skips. But they chose obviously not to do it. But the way that they do it, the way their feet had moved, the fact that they're going and jumping at the same height as well, despite not being connected, is again very good. There's been a lot of quick step elements in a lot of these dances, right? Okay, it was good. Technically, it was really good. Did I enjoy the dance? No, I don't really like the style of dancing. I think it's a bit more sort of jazzy. There were like a lot of choreography bits, which I personally just don't like. That is personal opinion and personal preference completely. I kind of don't watch strictly for these kind of dances, you know? Like the Tasha's dance, for example, I know I keep coming back to that, but Tasha's dance or Chris's dance, those are the kind of dances that I like to watch strictly for. This kind of more cabaret style or even like the Motown medley from the beginning, not really why I watch Strictly. So for me, they're just not as enjoyable. You know, they're just not really my thing. Again, personal preference. Technically, they were very matched, they were very similar, so I could definitely say that she did an incredible job. There was insane body control, insane sort of making sure, you know, fingers are aligned, like toes are in the right place. all the lifts were so clean, coming up, coming down, like everything was in the right place at the right time. So technically it's a 40 out of 40. I think if I was to rank them, actually, you know what, I'll do the ranking, my personal ranking at the end. Let's have a look at what their actual scores were. 39, with Craig giving them the 9. Don't know what the 9 would be for again, but fine. If I was to just do the show dances, I would have number 1 would be Tasha, 100%. 2, Sarah and Vito. 3, Chris and Diane. And 4, JB and Lauren. That would be my personal rankings. I know that's not how the final went, but based on just these dances alone, that's what I would do. How about you? What's your opinion? Do you think the right person won? If you were to do the same ranking, what would you rank it based on those show dances? And who is your winner? I'd love to see you and respond to you in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed already, this isn't the end. If there's any that I've missed that you're like, Mara, you have to react to this, drop it in the comments down below, and over the next couple of months I will find the time to record and react to it just for you. So pop down everything you want to pop down in the comments below, tell me your rankings, and thank you so much for joining me throughout this Strictly season, for interacting, for commenting, for liking, and if you've subscribed, for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a new channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put all of the reaction videos over here in this playlist so you can go back to it and have a look, but also once I sort of start moving content over from my other channel, the ranking videos that I did earlier this season will pop up here as well. So you'll have 2 little playlists for you to go back to and enjoy and relive the experiences. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you just after Christmas. Bye!